The Minister has just described the UK Government's approach as an act of sabotage, but it is this Government who are cancelling the scheme after spending £218 million. Yes, the Scottish Government spent £218 million. It's there in black and white on the Scottish Government's website.
Let's
with
hear
no
Ms.
proposed
Villalba.
alternative to meet its targets to recycle 70% of waste by 2025. So will the Minister be honest with the public and take some responsibility for the fact the SNP and the First Minister himself sabotaged this scheme by repeatedly talking it down during their bitter leadership contest?
Minister. Members, I will remind you of the need to conduct business with courtesy and respect. Minister.
As I have presented to this Parliament when we introduced the delay from August this year to March 1st, it is the delays implemented by the UK delay in giving us an exclusion to the Internal Market Act which have caused this uncertainty. That pot was stirred by the Secretary of State for Scotland in February of this year. In January of this year, the UK government's own documentation says it is for the devolved nations to make the decisions on the scope of their scheme. The Secretary of State for Scotland then put in all of our minds doubt because he threatened to use the Internal Market Act to block our scheme. And at that point, that friction on delivery of the scheme, that uncertainty that was created by the words of the Secretary of State for Scotland, meant that I had to come to this Parliament and announce a delay. He has now made good on his threat and implemented a version of the IMA exclusion which is only temporary and which puts on us this impossible condition. And I will share this condition as I did with the fellow member earlier. For example, they have said the maximum cap on deposit levels will have to be agreed before our scheme launches. The UK hasn't set their cap on their deposit. They haven't set their deposit. They haven't passed their regs. What if that's 10p? What if it's 30p? No. We cannot tell Scottish businesses to go ahead with the scheme when we don't even know what the deposit amount is. It puts this Parliament, this government, in an impossible situation to ask Scottish businesses to comply with regulations that don't even exist.
Co-Cap Stewart.